What is up, everyone? This is another story time. Hey guys, it's Paxton. This is another story time. So here's the thing about me when it comes to dating. Most of the time, I call someone by their profession or where they live to reference them or tell stories because it's the easiest way to know who I'm talking about when it comes to my friends and family. So until someone is like serious in my life, they're called waist trainer guy or dentist or Boston guy or something like that, okay? I try not to give too many details because you know how the internet works. I don't want to bash people too much, but I do want to tell the stories because they are outrageous, as you could see from the piano player. So this story is about someone in the dental field. Let's just say we have mutual connections, whether it's friends, family, all of the above, whatever. Try to give as vague of details as possible without throwing someone directly under the bus. I was introduced to this guy and we started texting back and forth, and for our first date, he actually asked me to go to what he made out to be a formal event. If you know me, I love dressing up. I'm either in sweatpants, no makeup, or I love like putting on a dress and doing my hair and makeup and all of the above. It's so fun for me. Even though it was a little strange for me to have a first date at a formal event, I said yes. Because like I've said before, this was the time in my life where I was trying to put myself out there, not just for the enjoyment of my friends and family, but also just trying to meet people and date around like any early 20s girl would do, right? He knows that I live downtown Nashville and this event is out where I'm from, which is about 25 minutes outside of Nashville. And the event's actually further than that. It's probably an additional 20 minutes, which is, he lives way out there. He was like, I'm going to come down and pick you up and I'll make sure to drop you off after the event, which right off the bat, to me, that was very gentlemanlike. I had not experienced that before. And I was like, this is off to a good start. He asked me my favorite drink. And when he showed up, he had a mixed drink in the car for me and like drove me to the event. I had this nice purple dress. I got my hair done. I got my makeup done. I went all out because like I said, I love dressing up and it was just like a fun time. It felt like prom again. So as we're on our way out to this event, we've got like 30, 45 minute drive, something in that range. We're about 15-ish minutes out and he's like, hey, I need to swing by my house real quick before, but the event is like pretty close to where I live. And I was like, okay, cool. So we pull up to this beautiful home, cobblestone driveway, white house, perfectly like manicured lawn, beautiful home. So instantly I'm like, okay, let me go through these things in my head. Is a dentist. He has his own dental practice, 27 at this point. And I'm like, wow. And this is his house. Okay. Like, did I just hit the jackpot? We've had great conversation. Like, is this my future husband? Maybe. We pull up and I'm like, I'm pretty excited at this point. I'm not gonna lie. Like things are starting to look up. And as I've said, I have a lot of really bad dating stories. So in my mind, something seeming like a light at the end of the tunnel was giving me hope, as it would anyone. He's like, I can run inside. Like, you're more than welcome to come in. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll go in. Because I love looking at in like people's houses. I love interior design. My favorite game growing up was Sims, and it makes sense, truthfully, because I just loved building the houses. Beside the point. We go inside. As we're walking in, I'm like, this house is like really nice. And he's like, thanks, it's my parents. And at that point, there's no turning back. We were already walking through the doorway. So we are on a first date. We haven't even made it to the date part. And I am meeting his parents right off the bat. I mean, I'm before I could even have emotion to the fact that he said, no, this is my parents' house, I was already putting my hand out to shake his mom's hand. Great people. Really nice. We had an interesting conversation because, as you would imagine, I was a little baffled. Because in my mind, I'm like, this man is a dentist, has his own dental practice, and lives at home with his parents. There's nothing wrong with living at home with your parents. I've had to do it before, but if I have a choice, I'm probably gonna live on my own. That was gonna be a topic of conversation later on in the night. So as I'm meeting his mom and dad, in walks his brother. In walks his brother's fiance. So I'm meeting the whole family. This dude runs upstairs. He's like, I'll be right back. Gotta go run up to my room. I'm instantly thinking of a scene from like Step Brothers and wondering if this man has bunk beds. I don't know. I don't know. It's already weird. I'm just trying to make the most of it. Not be awkward in any way, shape, or form. Nice people. We had good conversation, whatever. He failed to mention to me that we were going to this event with his entire family. We all gather up. So we all convene in the living room, family affair, and we go to the event together, which it was close. It was literally right across the street. Once entering the event, I've allowed this to kind of at least go to the back of my mind. I'm like, you know what? We're just going to have a good time. We got dressed up. We got our hair. We got our makeup done. We rented this dress, having a good time, right? Then we walk into the event. I'm then greeted by neighbors of his, probably kindergarten teachers, all of his colleagues, all of the people that work for him at his dental office. Also, come to find out, his mom worked the front desk of the dental office. And I think there might have been an ex-girlfriend there. I'm not sure. I might have blacked that out of my mind, but whatever. I'm spending the entire evening with every person in his life. This dude doesn't even know my middle name. He doesn't know my favorite color. He doesn't know my biggest fear. But I have met every single person in his life. And I'm just kind of going with the flow. He's having a great time. We get pictures. We do the photo booth. Yeah, let's keep going. I drank an excessive amount to really just take the edge off, you know? So did his mom. And at one point in the night, his mom pulled me aside with his brother's fiance. So it's just us three girls, and weddings start getting brought up. Mine, and potentially his. His mom goes on this whole speech about how she is just so happy that he has found such a good girl, which, thank you. I appreciate the compliment. But you don't know me. And honestly, back then, I was kind of like a heathen. Like, I wasn't the best version of myself. I can say that. I'll admit that. The conversation gets weirder because somehow it gets brought up that he's like, yeah, I can't drink too much because I'm taking her home because I live downtown. Remember, he picked me up. His mom was like, oh, no, that's totally fine. I've already made the guest bedroom up for her. There's water in there, and then she can have breakfast with us in the morning, and we can all go to church, and then we can all go out on the boat together. That should be so much fun. I was like, yeah, no, I'm sorry. I really got to go home. I have an important meeting the next morning. I didn't have a meeting. I just didn't want to do that. That felt weird, right? Like, that's just a little too soon. I don't even know your son. So I probably shouldn't have a sleepover in his parents' house, right? That's weird. I end up having a conversation with him as the night goes on, and I'm like, so, you know, because you don't want to be rude. I didn't want to be rude and be like, why don't you live with your parents when you're so well off? But in a roundabout way, that's kind of what I asked. I was like, so why don't you have your own place? Like, what's the reason? He's like, I mean, I have enough money to, but like, why bother? My mom works for me and I'm with them all the time anyways, so I might as well just live with them. That was a moment that I knew that wasn't going to work, because that told me that he was a very typical mama's boy. There's nothing wrong with that. I love my mom. I lean on my parents still to this day about random things about, you know, being an adult. But when he phrased it along the lines of, yeah, I have enough money, I could, you know, buy a house, buy two houses. Why would I want to live anywhere else? Mom cooks for me, does my laundry. Nope, I'm out. See ya, bye. So I slowly faded that out. He dropped me off and I ended fine. He had a grand old time. I'm pretty sure that his family was convinced we were going to get married. The next day, I was at my parents' house and they were having a pool party. We were having family over, all of the above. And my grandmother asked me, I heard you had a first date with so-and-so last night. And I was like, yeah, I did. Don't think it's going to work out. And she goes, thank goodness, because that mama is crazy. And I was like, you guys couldn't have told me this beforehand whenever I went out of my way to go on this date. And she was like, nah, you wanted to have fun and get dressed up. It was fine. I knew it wasn't going to work. But yeah, but I will say this man is now happily married. He found his person. It was not me. And we love a happy ending. But to this day, my family loves that story because they have this inside joke that they knew all along and wanted me to find out on my own. I just found out in the most awkward way possible in front of his entire family, colleagues, and life. So just a heads up, if you ever get invited to a formal event, maybe one, find out if his family's going to be there, and two, find out if all of his friends, colleagues, and kindergarten teachers are going to be there as well, because, you know, it was awkward. But that's another story time, and hopefully you enjoy this. Let me know if you like the dating stories, because I've got more and I can keep these rolling. But if not, we've got other stories as well. Bye, guys.